Thank you, Deputy Presiding Officer. And can I begin by adding my thanks to Richard Lochhead for bringing this very important debate to the Chamber this afternoon, and to wish Alison Johnson all the best for that desperate challenge of Sugar-Free February. In the teeth of the First World War, Wilfred Owen described the mechanised slaughter of a place like Passchendaele in the Somme as being seen as cancer. And I've always been struck by that description of the disease. Cancer is obscene, it's indiscriminate, it hides sometimes in plain sight, and as we've heard, it devastates families and friends. And our policy response needs to capture every aspect of the sort of cancer journey that people experience. It needs to tackle causes and prevention, it needs to look at treatment, it also needs to cover research and indeed patient choice, particularly around end-of-life care. So if we think about that policy response, it really has to begin with prevention. And as we've heard in several excellent contributions this afternoon, 40% of cancers could be prevented if we take appropriate lifestyle choices. And this chamber has taken public policy decisions which are shaping lifestyle choices, indeed around the smoking ban, and more recently the extension of that ban to smoking in cars, which was originally brought in by my friend and colleague Jim Hume, in the minimum unit pricing for alcohol, which when it does finally start to bed in, I think we will see a marked difference in alcohol-related cancers. But it is in obesity that I think we have the most to do, and I think a lot of members have touched upon that, not least Alison Johnson, that 65% of adults in this country are overweight, and that costs us £4.6 billion, makes this a national health crisis. Early diagnosis is also key. We could give those 31,000 people who are diagnosed with cancer every year a fighting chance if we caught it early. But we see stigma around particularly things like cervical screening, and the embarrassment are related as an inhibitor of getting people that critical early diagnosis. Access to treatment is important as well. I think the tone of this debate is not such that I would make hay with cancer treatment waiting times, but they are unacceptably long. But there are elements of good practice out there as well, and I point to the health boards that regularly capture the reasons for missed waiting time targets and then decide mitigating strategies about how to stop such delays happening again. I'd like to see that rolled out across each of our 14 territorial health boards. Research is vital, absolutely vital. In the summer recess, Alison Johnson and others and I went to the Cancer Research UK research centre at the Western General in Edinburgh, and absolutely astonished by the research going on there. But I was really struck by the fact that the vast majority of research fellows at that institution were from European countries outside of the United Kingdom, and that obviously underscores the impact of Brexit that could possibly have. I want to sort of close my remarks by focusing on end-of-life care, because I think that's a really important dimension to this debate. I visited just on Friday, in fact, the Marie Curie Hospice, and was struck by the compassion and the dignity that is afforded to the patients that receive exemplary care in those very difficult final days of life. And it ties very much, I think, into that philosophy, that new way of thinking brought in by Catherine Calderwood, the Chief Medical Officer, around realistic medicine, that when credited with the facts about your condition, that people make grown-up choices about the decisions they need to take in terms of end-of-life care. That speaks to my values as a liberal about offering choice in the end, and I think we need to do more to extend that choice and identify a humane and dignified way for people to exit this life in a way that we perhaps don't currently do. All of those people in Marie Curie, in the research and in the care that our patients receive in oncology departments around the country deserve the thanks of a grateful nation. Cancer is obscene, but by unifying as we are doing this afternoon, then we stand a greater chance of making sure that it isn't the scourge of our society that it currently is right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much.